Yo guys, what's going on? It is me, Strawhatninja89, and here to do the video for Annie City on the top 5. Now I know I was supposed to do this like around Monday or Tuesday-ish, but unfortunately I was kind of busy. I had to work as a pain in the ass. We started to get busy again after the whole snowstorm thing, and whatever, blah blah blah. So with that, and also I had to prepare myself because I was doing stuff for Valentine's Day. Even though Valentine's Day is tomorrow, but I do work for Valentine's Day. Yeah, I know, which sucks. So with that being said, because of that, I wasn't really able to actually, hold on one sec. I wasn't able to actually, do the video that I promised to do for Annie City. But here now, sorry if it's kind of delayed, but screw it, here it is. And this video is going to be on the top 5, pretty much, this is going to be a top 5 based on my top 5 favorite completed anime series. Now, what I mean by completed, I mean definitely completed, not really ongoing at all. Everything is kaput, done, comprende, everything is gone. So, for people who want the other stuff on the list, or whatever, it's not on there, so screw it. So, screw it. So, what the hell? No, sorry, that was weird. Anyways, so let's just begin right here with number 5. So, number 5 is pretty much going to start off in this actual episode. We're going to start off at number 5 with Persona 4 the animation. Yes, Persona 4 the animation is definitely something I truly loved. And now, don't get me wrong, I know there's a review of this actually coming very soon, but I already just recently finished the series. And yes, I know I recently just finished, and I'm cheating because it is based off a video game, but it's definitely one of the best video game adaptations anime ever made. And I can't really say the same for Sonic X or Final Fantasy. But this was actually very good. And what I mean now, I could have done a top 10 because I have a lot more favorite anime than this. Trust me, there are far more twos. But the top 5 is pretty much my most favorite, with the ones that have really great characters, development, blah blah blah, endings that are not bullshit or anything, truly perfect. Okay, so now with this one, and exactly what it delivers, a very good character development between all the characters. I love the way that they use their personas to actually seek the truth and find out who is really behind all these murderers and how this TV world become created. The characters like you, not Kisuke, or I think it was Kisuke, I think his name was. The guy with the not the glasses, the one that has the headphones, Chie, Yujiko, you got all your favorite characters all right here in this one epic, amazing series. I'm not spoiling anything for the ending. Since the anime review this dude, there's also not gonna spoil the ending. But let's just say, if you haven't played video games, it's really up to you. You want to either one, play the video game, know what the true endings. I mean, there are actually kind of 2 endings to the series. Keep in mind, there are 2 different endings to the series. So it kind of actually feels like playing the video game, minus the whole going through all dungeons, how to to the dungeons, defeating bosses, blah blah blah. All that stuff to do in your typical RPG games. This actually is kind of like, moving forward on what you actually have to do in the video games. So it's up to you if you want to play the video games to know, but if you're not really into the Persona or the Shin Megami Tensei series in general, I highly recommend, or just not into that much RPG video games in general, I highly recommend the anime version to this because it's actually quite good. And even though it says 4 on it, doesn't mean you have to go back to Persona 3, 2, or 1 to understand it completely. Each Persona series has its own variety of the story and how they get their personas. So their own personas are pretty much their personalities that they don't want to accept, but they had to accept it. And then once they do, they become the shadow that you have to defeat. Then once you defeat it and accept your fate and your persona, or your personality in other words, then your persona becomes your own, and it's a card that you can summon in order to fight these things called shadows in the TV world. Now, this is actually pretty unique because in this particular series, it shows, because it's a much creative way to get people into this type of franchise. And yes, this was kind of like my guilty pleasure of the first Persona game I kind of pretty much played ever since I saw the anime. I was a fan of Arena. Then I watched this. No, I played Arena. I watched the anime. well, the first part of it. Then I got into the video games, Persona 4, I went back to Persona 3, blah blah blah, all those. And I became a fan of Shin Megami Tensei recently, and I cannot believe I missed on the sub Shin Megami Tensei series. It's very, very good, and this is definitely the most highly rated game, and I have to say, it's definitely worth that title, because it's definitely one of the best, not only video game, but very good anime adaptation of a video game. Yeah, so that's why I chose it as number 5. But let's just say that these endings that you will see it could kind of be kind of a big mindfuck to some people, but it's definitely worth the mindfuck, trust me. It may seem a little bit mindfuckish to you, but trust me, it is totally worth it. You are definitely missing out on something that's very good. If you don't really like video game adaptation, animes that much, fear not, because this is the one that truly, truly gets it right. So number 5 goes to Persona 4, the animation. Or as they'd say, Persona 4, the animation. I know it's like a girl's voice that says it, but I can't do it in guys. It sounds very weird. Anyway, moving on to number 4. Next on my list is going to be number 4, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, I know you're going to hate me for this, knowing that it should have been mostly high on the list. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a very great series, and definitely way worthwhile over the original Full Metal. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I like the original Full Metal, but there are so many questions that they left unanswered, especially since the manga by that time never finished. Unlike now, where the manga finally finished the same time as the anime did, now we can finally get a whole new feel of it, and it's definitely, yes, it is definitely a more darker tone to the series. Well, that again, the first one was dark. No, actually, I would say the first one had more darker elements, while this one did have that same dark element feel. There were also some very good laughable comedy moments as well in this one. And yes, I could have placed this as, number 3 or number 2. And yes, I really did. But these are the new school ones. Definitely, it's the very old school ones that definitely get the praise. But I will say this, though. It is definitely one of the greatest adaptations of a manga. The pacing is fantastic. Love the pacing to the series. Ending was just epic as all hell. Fight was just pretty amazing. It is so much better of an adaptation than what the original series did. Don't get me wrong, it was pretty good too, but this one just did it way more justice. And not to mention, the music soundtrack was even way better. Not to mention, the animation quality was off the goddamn chain. And I mean, very, very off the chain. And only lasting for about 2 years, which wasn't, just for like a year and a half, which wasn't really that bad. And by that time, the manga was going to end anyway. You still get your favorite cast of characters like Ed, Al, Roy, Hawkeye, Winry, but you also get some brand new characters like Ling, Langfang, that little Chinese girl, I forget the freaking girl's name with the panda. Scar, of course, is definitely back, and you definitely get the original homunculus back with some brand new ones that were not mentioned from the original manga. So this one actually makes it quite a treat to actually watch. If you want the full-fledged manga and full color and definitely very great pacing, and with only 64 episodes, mind you, which isn't really that bad of a deal. You're thinking they can't fit this in, 26 episodes? Definitely not. 64 was definitely the way to go. I could have said maybe 50-something episodes could have done the trick. Well, I can't really count episode 1, though, as canon, because that was more filler-ish than canon material, but it worked, and it brought back the hype back for something that could actually be leading to something good, and by God, it succeeded, just like it did with the brand new Batman trilogy that came out this generation, and I love it. So number 4 definitely goes to a very high quality anime, very high quality classic, and while yes, it's still new, but to me it deserves one of the classic spots. But again, like I said, the old school ones are more something that I grew up with and still remember, and hell, I wouldn't even be an anime fan if it wasn't for those that actually made me get into shows like this, Persona, Gurren Lagann, all the newer generation animes besides the old ones I grew up with. So now we're going to go on to the most highly anticipated ones I grew up with, growing up either on the Toonami days, maybe / Adult Swim days, whatever. So yes, moving on to number 3. Oh, come on people, you all know this was coming. Number 3 goes to Cowboy Bebop. Again, this was something I have seen on Adult Swim when Adult Swim started the first premiere anime. And again, if it wasn't for series like these, hell, I wouldn't even be an anime fan today, growing up with such fantastic, amazing old school series like this. What makes this really my personal very top favorite is not only just for the unforgettable characters, the very awesome different story perspectives. You know, it's got this Quentin Tarantino feel mixed with something like, I would say that with like Sin City, very old school western space cowboy feel, which actually works pretty good. The badassness of Spike, the comedy is priceless in this. Very awesome, hilarious comedy stuff, and of course an ending that will make you tear your eyes out on the, well, it's not really the much biggest spoiler because hell, everyone and their mother has already seen this by now. And if you don't know by now, again, I hate doing spoilers, so let's just say a certain badass character actually dies. And yeah, again, it's not really too much because I know there's tons of it. And not only that, so yeah, definitely. But again, no spoilers allowed here, so watch at your own pace. So number 3 definitely goes to Cowboy Bebop. Oh wait, I've also forgot the music. The music has a really upbeat, jazzy, cowboy feel. It's all mixed all around and it fits perfectly for each atmosphere of the episode. And each episode actually feels like some kind of very deep poetry feeling that you definitely get for these characters in these episodes, and that totally makes it worth it. Yes, I know it can get overrated to all hell. I know Adult Swim play the show up the ass so many times, over 10 years now, mind you. Well, okay, now 11 years. Getting closer now to 11 years. But what can they say? I mean, okay, I believe Toonami finally took it off, or Adult Swim in general finally took it off this year, and many other animes are taking the spot. I could be wrong. I haven't looked at the very last of the Toonami lineup lately, so, like, the shows that are beyond, like, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, so who knows for me. I'm not technically so sure. But anyways, number 3 definitely goes to Cowboy Bebop for those reasons. Now we're getting close to number 2 and number 1. Now let's go to number 2. Oh yeah, I think you sort of might know what's coming for this one. Number 2 is Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh yes, Yu Yu freaking Hakusho. The Adult Swim first premiered this, I was thinking it was some kind of weird spiritual version of Dragon Ball Z. And I even thought that the characters kind of quite sounded very similar to the Dragon Ball Z characters, and of course it is. Of course, it's Funimation who's doing it. But back then I was like, oh, that's why they're the same people. And I was like, cool, they sound like the characters from Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball in general. So, cool, I like this a lot. Just like in Dragon Ball. So I watched it all the way through, and I loved it. Like, I love this series because, 1, it's got a fantastic story. 2, again, unforgettable characters. Arcs that are definitely memorable, kind of like something you expect out of either Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z or whatever. Dialogues you can definitely get, and tons of memes, of course, you can definitely get with this. Oh, and I also do love the wisecracking jackass known as Yusuke. Definitely one of the most wisecracking characters, but definitely the most pure-hearted character as well. He may not seem like he's the most pure-hearted, but when it comes to protecting people, yeah, he's definitely in the row. Unlike the black-wearing, cape-wearing, freaking orange sword man, which we all know who we're definitely talking about. Then again, I don't mind Ichigo, but come on, man, learn some new freaking moves. That's all I really gotta say on that. But we'll get to that later on, so at some point. But anyways, yeah, I know a lot of people are going to give me hate mail for that, but whatever. Okay, whatever. Before the time of Bleach, this is kind of like the 90s version of Bleach, you can say. Because Bleach and Yu Yu Hakusho have the same similar universe. You know, they have these different spiritual worlds. They got the human world and the spirit world. It's kind of the same thing when it comes to Bleach. You got the real world and the Soul Society, and you got, you know, Hueco Mundo, and like all these spiritual worlds. It's not just your regular planet Earth here, or space, or whatever. So that's what makes these two worlds really unique. Speaking of Bleach, yes, I know it wasn't on this countdown. I know I do love Bleach, the anime, a lot, and I know it already ended last year, but I had to take it all for a reason. The reason is because it didn't really end with the final arc that we're having right now. But, you know, whatever. I mean, I'll still put it on that list one day, but that will be for the other animes that didn't make the list, but I still really like. that could have made the top 5 but didn't. I mean, if it was a top 10, hell yeah, I can name the ones way before these 5 you're seeing right now that are definitely on my list, but not perfect, but still likable, and I still enjoy them. So anyways, yeah. But Yu Yu Hakusho, it's definitely a really great 90s version of Bleach. Definitely we got Hiei, which is the, he's pretty much just a personality of a stray cat. He doesn't really talk much. He does kind of have his moments here and there, funny moments, but he also has this really deep, dark, awesome, disturbing secrets, and very awesome, badass powers. Kurama, half human, half fox demon, looks like a pretty boy, but really a guy. Yes, most animes did do this when it comes to the transgender sex of anime characters, but hey, you know, I'm used to it by now, so whatever. Koroboro, the retarded Vegeta, that's all I really gotta say. That again, I know in the Japanese version he sounds completely different, but, you know, you got the retarded Vegeta, and Yusuke, you got, like, the dark side of Dende, pretty much, because I recognize his voice from Dende from Dragon Ball Z. And then we had Botan, you know, the witch that actually helped out Yusuke to get to the spirit world, voice of Chi-Chi. So it's kind of like all these characters, people from Dragon Ball Z, except people like, you know, Koema, which technically didn't come till later for Oob for Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT with Oob. So I didn't recognize him until then. I mean, George the Ogre, I already recognize him. I guess he was named something different, but I guess they call him George, so whatever American name, I don't care. It was back then in those times, so I could forgive it. Yeah, I guess, unless he was named that in the manga or something, or I don't know, or just Ogre, I don't know, or just fucking Ogre. I don't know. He's just a character that's there and there, but, you know, has his funny moments with him as well. Anyways, yeah, I mean, most of it kind of reminded me of a spiritual version of DBZ, and that's why I kept watching. Even though I did get pretty pissed off that Toonami did have it on, but then didn't air the final season till like 5 o'clock in the morning. So I just started to give up, and when YouTube did come along, remember kids, stealing is wrong, I did kind of watch the rest of it on there, and I was like, yes, I completed it, it's finally over, thank God. I'm finally done with it. And then when the season sets came out at a very good, reasonable, cheap price, I got all 4 seasons, I think it is. 4? Yeah, 4 seasons, yeah. Okay. All 4 seasons of Yu Yu Hakusho I own now, so I don't have to worry about it. I own all 4 seasons, legally, of course. You don't have to worry about that. And, of course, the OVA as a Hakusho, so of course you can tell I'm the biggest Yu Yu Hakusho fan. But, was this truly the anime that got me into it? That truly got me into anime today? Not quite. However, it was between my 2nd or 3rd anime that I have watched to get me into anime. Now we go to numero uno, and that is number 1, Dragon Ball. Not Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball GT, plain old Dragon Ball. And the reason why? Do I really need to explain why this amazing series is awesome? Oh, fine, I will. Amazing adventurous plot, which you know, you got a very simple plot that goes one step forward and one step beyond, because it's just one simple story that devours into such an amazing universe. This is the manga, people. This is the manga that inspired One Piece. If it wasn't for this, see right here, if it wasn't for Goku, here, or, oh shit, dropped my camera. Whoops, that was not good. But anyways, if it wasn't for Goku, if it wasn't for Kira Toriyama, we wouldn't have One Piece today. And this is exactly where it started off, with adventurous plot, going around, meeting friends, fighting in tournaments, defeating the world from evil, saving the world many evil from many different foes. A series where Yamcha was actually cool for once, unlike in Z where he became a complete biatch. I'm just saying is all for, you know, I used to love Yamcha, but come on, man. Toriyama, what'd you do to Yamcha, man? What'd you do to my boy Yamcha? He was, like, really good. In Dragon Ball, what did you do to him? Exactly. Bucking exposed. Like Phone says. Bucking exposed. So, you know, if it wasn't for Dragon Ball, I wouldn't even be an anime fan today with such an amazing, amazing adventurous anime. Tons of great characters. Tons of memorable moments, funny moments, action moments, very sad moments. Just everything that made this show inspire me to watch the legendary ongoing series One Piece today, and this is definitely where it gets its inspiration from. And when I watched the original Dragon Ball, it definitely reminds me of One Piece, how only except Luffy is littler and pretty much he has a tail until he grows up. And you know, the whole very last saga Dragon Ball kind of reminds me of stuff like from the New World and all that stuff, and I really thought they could go something with that there until some characters weren't developed like Great and Z, which I don't know why, but you know, that's Akira Toriyama for you people. I don't know why, but whatever. Anyways, again, if it wasn't for Dragon Ball, I wouldn't even be into anime today, and it's definitely one of these shows, one of the most memorable classics, memorable opening and endings, music. Then again, openings and endings were the same, but I really did love the music, the classic Japanese, Chinese martial arts music feel to it, and a very good dub opening and ending as well. Oh, I forgot to mention, same as Yu Hakusho. Yu Hakusho had some really great opening and endings, because the endings were different, and both of these animes were both dubbed with the openings were both dubbed and endings too, and they sounded very good from Funimation standards. And this is a dub right here that puts Dragon Ball Z to shame, and that's saying something. Same with Yu Hakusho. Both of these dubs put fucking Dragon Ball Z to shame, something that they treat like some American cheap shot. Here they treat it with royalty respect, and I truly thank Funimation for that. So guys, thank you for watching my top 5 favorite completed anime series. Thank you all. What is your top 5? So who's going to be the next 193C to do this? What do you guys what is your top 5 going to be? Let me know in the comment section below. Video response, whatever. And for all you subscribers or viewers, rate, comment, subscribe to N83City. We are an amazing group. We're going to keep providing you with the content. We love you guys, you know, as much as you love us. I'm just saying is all. I'm just saying. Speaking of love, I hope you guys are having a really awesome Valentine's Day, even though it's not Valentine's Day yet. But if I don't make it, you know, in time for Valentine's Day, you know, just wishing you guys happy Valentine's Day, even though it's not really the biggest holiday. But for all you lovers, for you girls, and for you boys, for you lovers, or just for your moms or whatever. I wouldn't say dads, because, it doesn't sound right. Or just couples in general. For all you couples in general, just happy Valentine's Day. And stay tuned for more videos from us. And also, not just from the people themselves, but from me as well. On both channels. Thank you guys for watching. Strawhatninja89 over and out. See you on the bounce. Peace out. See you on the bounce. And anime manga fans, keep supporting what you read. And what you watch. Peace the fuck out. Later.